Another tragedy of building collapse in Lagos. It has set tongues wagging over whether the unfortunate incident will ever stop. 6 lives were lost in the latest occurrence at Oniru, a highbrow area of Nigeria's commercial city.
It was 20 minutes to 25 minutes after the penthouse collapsed. And at the time the penthouse collapsed, the whole structure was already shaking. About 30 of them escaped. That was how we could not recover and rescue anyone. I think those ones that were trapped, maybe they slept off, they couldn't wake up.
But it was avoidable had the developer, whose identity is yet to be revealed, chosen the path of professionalism and regards for rules.
The developer did not get the necessary planning permits that will allow him to do that. They did not have the prerequisite authorization to commence construction on site. And severally, officers of the Lagos State Building Control Agency, LABCA, has visited this site, and his attitude has been that of hostility.
His defiance resulted in this, and that narrative is familiar. Remember this Ikoyi incident on November 1, 2021? It followed a similar pattern. Highbrow location with a powerful developer who also had penchant for disregarding the rules that made him illegally raise the structure from the 15-story approval gotten to 21 before the building finally gave way, killing not less than 46 people, including the developer himself. That was the height of it. Everyone, including the Lagos State governor, thought. He put an investigative panel of experts together, suspended the head of the Lagos State Building and Control Agency to demonstrate the public anger. Panel submitted its findings. Suspended officer recalled, but not much changed, it seems, with the Oniru collapse just 9 months after. And the frustrated Mr. Salako realized this as he visited the disaster site at Oniru.
We have seen this site about 3 times, and he kept breaking the seal.
He dropped his resignation letter or was advised to resign, like some have suggested hours later.
When he felt that he had to leave, he gave a notice that he was resigning to do some other things, and that it's a personal reason. So anybody who is now reading any meaning to that simple process of resignation, and Mr. Governor, Mr. Bayede Sanwo-Olu, accepting his resignation, I don't think it's fair, because the man did a lot in that ministry.
But beyond that, what exactly did the report of the Ikoyi building collapse last November say about the supervision or lack of it in the building industry in Lagos? Was the former commissioner indicted in any way?
There is no way you can find that kind of major calamity, and then the person at the head of it all will get accolades. Like I told you, the committee submitted this report. The government looked into the report and asked a committee to do a white paper. And the white paper came out, and the government is implementing the white paper as we speak.
The Lagos coroner ruled just in August that the Ikoyi building collapse occurred because of lack of proper management of the project and the compromise by the supervisory agencies. Now, that's the crux of the matter. Compromised agents and disobedient developers, their combined activities have brought massive disasters on Lagos. There are no accurate data on the number of building collapse cases and lives lost to them in the state in recent years, but some reports suggest that not less than 84 lives have been lost in such circumstances in the last 2 years alone. The National Emergency Management Agency put the figure of collapsed cases in Lagos at 329 in the last 50 years, about 64% of the total of 514 recorded in the country as a whole.
There are a lot of incidents that are not open to the press, but let us leave it as it is. Generally, from 1971 till date, we have more than close to about 514 cases, and about 63 to 64% of it are in Lagos.
We need to note that building collapses is rooted in the collapse of values, morals, and ethics which we need to work on as a nation. Those were the words of the chairman of the Ikoyi Building Collapse Investigative Panel, Toyin Ayinde, while submitting their report to Governor Sanwo-Olu in January. The recommendations by his committee we learned instigated the current shake-up in the supervising ministry with a new man at the helms. But the new man will also be facing the same issues as his predecessor unless more political will is demonstrated in enforcing the rules.
Most of the builders, I don't think they build houses for safety of the occupants.
People should be responsible. Why is it that people will go and build without getting permit? Why is it that people will be asked to stop building and then they go back at night to start building again?
In the words of Mr. Ayinde, we cannot sow the wind and not expect to reap the whirlwind. Therefore, if we must reverse the trend, then ethics and due diligence must be restored, not just by those building, but also by those giving the approvals. Tokumbo Oyetunji, Arise News, Lagos.